When I said earlier, guys, that I was happy to be here, I kind of meant that literally because this time last year, I was in the worst depression of my life. For over 90 days, I didn't want to see friends, family. I was sleeping barely 4 hours a night. I was in the darkest place ever. And I didn't know if I'd get out of it. And through love and therapy and trusting people that love me and going through hell, I got out of it. And, and that's why I'm here. But the one thing that I want to tell everybody in here is if you suffer from depression, and if you suffer and you've gone through that, okay, listen to me right now. Don't go to urgent care. All right, listen to me. Listen. They will fucking kill you, okay? Urgent care is the worst shit ever. It is the community college of the emergency room. I was in a really bad place, and I thought something was physically wrong with me. My head was tight, and I thought I had a tumor, and I was convinced, and I was so fucked up, and my OCD was making me convinced that I was sick and dying, to the point where I didn't want to look at my kids because I didn't think I was going to see my kids grow up. I was fucked up. And I remember going into the urgent care, and I literally heard the urgent care doctor say to the one nurse that was working, he goes, "Yeah, listen, I got a birthday party to be at I swear to God, I got a birthday party to be at 2 o'clock, so if we could start getting these people in and out of here." I heard that. And even in my depression, I had to laugh, like, that's hilarious. And I'm sitting in there, and I finally go in, and he goes, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Man, I think something's wrong with my head. I got tightness." He's like, "You're not doing well, are you? I could tell, so, you don't look good." And I'm like, "No, man, I'm in a bad spot." And I was just telling about my OCD. And he goes, "Oh, you got OCD?" He goes, "You on medicine?" I go, "Yeah, I'm on the lowest dose of this medicine for my OCD." He goes, "Oh, what kind? What kind of medicine?" And I tell him, and he took his phone out. And he goes, "Oh, what kind? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's right here. Side effects. Stop taking it." I've been on this shit for years. So now I get into a fucking downward spiral, and I'm really, really fucked up. So I had to go to therapy, and I find therapy hilarious, okay? Because when you go to a therapist, no matter how dark and fucked up and all the shit you lay on the table, they're always looking at the clock, right? Because they have 3 other crazy assholes in the waiting room, and it's 4 o'clock, and they want to get out. You can say anything to them. You can be like, "Yeah, I was up all night, hysterical, crying with a revolver cocked back in my mouth," and they'll be like, "All right, we're going to pick up on that next week." And, but I dealt with it, and it's okay. I have OCD. I don't have the OCD that you can see. I don't wash my hands or touch things. I'm what they call a pure obsessive. So I just get really bad, unwanted, intrusive thoughts at the worst possible time. Like, you ever hold a baby? Like, you're just holding a baby. You're like, I can just fucking throw this thing. And you're not, no? Fuck you. Like, you go to the subway and you're like, I could jump. Like, I have that a lot with a lot of different things, Mine is, the only thing I do physical is rice. Like, if I eat sushi and I dip it in soy and the rice breaks apart, I can't handle that. I got to get every piece of rice. That's the only thing that's like, physical with me. But when I see things, I associate myself with doing it. Like, so if I watch a crime show, I remember one night I was watching crime shows all night. I go to bed now after this, and I'm watching my wife sleep soundly. And now I'm wrestling with the thought of, what's stopping me from going to the kitchen, getting a knife, stabbing my wife in her sleep, and dealing with it in the morning, right? And my wife knows I deal with this problem since I'm little, and I'm tossing, I'm turning, and all this stuff, and she just goes, babe, do you want to talk about it? And I was like, no, I 100% do not want to talk about what I'm thinking. And she goes, babe, how bad could it be? I was like, couldn't be worse for you. It's worst case scenario for you. But honestly, man, if you go through that and you get into a depression, you got to trust the people that you love, because life is fucked up and you got to just get out of it. And by the way, that's what I like to do at comedy shows. I like to get everybody laughing and then bring it the fuck down with a depression thing. But just understand that it's okay, And I used to feel like a less of a human being because of the thoughts. Like, why would I have that thought? But I learned it's okay, Like when I see a mass shooting on the news, the first thing I think is, that's horrible. That is a cowardice. That's the most atrocious act in the world. But then I'm like, But how the fuck did they only get 21 people? You got an AR-15 and you're in a packed fucking theater. Listen, it's awful. I'm not for it. But they'll be like, 21 people, that is the most in U.S. history. I'm like, most in U.S. history? I would shatter that record if I decided to fucking do that. Okay, listen, it's an awful thing, but if I'm making a name for myself, I'm making a name for myself. You had one job to do. I'm like, that's a lot of rice. That's a lot of rice. You had one job. You didn't have to go to Timmy's soccer game. You didn't have to get a gallon of milk. You had to lock the door and kill everybody in the fucking room. And I want to say something, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank everybody in this room who listened to the premise of that joke and laughed. Because if you listen, I'm serious, listen to me. If you listened to the premise of that joke and laughed, you would understand that I'm not for mass shooting. How can I be? It's the most fucking atrocious act in the world. And you would understand that I'm using comedy to put light on it. And, you know, you guys got that. You're at a comedy show and you get it. And I don't have to worry about a blogger fucking making me not be able to say what I want to say. You guys got that because it's comedy. And I appreciate that. And for anybody else, if you got all offended, tight, weird, and think I'm for mass shooting, you're the ones that belong in the theater. I'm Paul Virzi, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you guys. Thank you.